Hello. The purpose of this video is to explain why is the front of the building always facing south. I was recently asked by a student, why is the front elevation of a building always facing south? And you can see it in this floor plan. This is a floor plan of a house. Here are the front steps, and it's facing south. You can see it on this floor plan. Here's the front elevation, and if you look at the floor plan, the front, the floor plan again has the front facing south. Okay, so front elevation is basically the front of the building, the one facing the street, but not always, right? So the front elevation, which is the elevation that shows the entrance, could be on the side of a lot, or it could be, which is typically in front of the lot. So basically, if you're looking at the front of the building, it would be the entrance to the building, and that is usually always put in the south elevation. Okay, so you can see it again here. Here's the front of the building, and it's facing south. If you look at the elevations, this is that front elevation, and that's only the garage. You can see it here in the roof plan. There's the garage. Okay, and here's the garage. So this is the front of the building, and the front of the building is facing south. Now, that has always been the case when I went to architecture school, when I went to work uh, in my first architectural firm. It's always been like that. I've never questioned it, it's just an industry standard. However, there are some exceptions. If you have a floor plan that is long and wouldn't fit the height of the paper, but it will fit the uh, length of the paper, this could be the front of the building. And so for projects that it's not like a house, we don't call front elevation. We just call it like um, west elevation. And therefore, west elevation with the front, and there's no front anymore, just elevations. So there are exceptions to those rules, but traditionally, industry standard, the face of the building that shows the entrance is the front elevation, and the front elevation is always facing south. Okay. In site plans, you can see here. Here's the street. There's an alley here, or a yeah, a back street where the garage is. This is the site plan, um, and the street is the one that has the front face of the building, and that's facing south again. You look at the elevation of this floor plan. The front elevation, which is this one, okay, that's south. You can see that that's south, south elevation. So south elevation is always the front of the building, or the front of the building is always facing south. Okay, so I guess it has something to do with elevations. When you look at the floor plan, the front elevation is always the one in the south of the floor plan. So when you look at a house in 3D, the one facing the street, that's the south. Okay, so that's the front elevation, which is the south elevation, and that south elevation is always the one facing the south side of the paper. Okay, and you can see it even in AutoCAD. So here's AutoCAD. You can see this 3D wheel. Okay, we call that. Let me check again. We call that the view cube. So this is the view cube. So on the view cube, you have the top view, and you're looking at this top view. Okay, if I click in the corner, I can now see the left view, which is the left side of the building, the top view, which is the roof of the building here, and then the front view, which is this view over here. And the front view is always going to be south. Okay, so if I go back again here, here's the top view. If I go to the south view, it's always the front of the building. Okay, so that's why um, in local or in architectural terms, the front is always south, usually industry standard, and even AutoCAD has that orientation. The south side, south, is the front of the building. Therefore, in site plans and floor plans, which we're going to work on later, When you're looking at a floor plan or a site plan, the south side of the building is usually the front of the building. Okay?